Hello and welcome to ever happen to stumble upon this video or come back to my channel. Hi, my name is Dana and today we are moving into my new bullet journal for 2021. So the second half of 2021. And for this setup, I'm using an Archer and Olive bullet journal. They are my favorite types of journals. This one is the Into the Forest design. I just got it for my birthday back last month. So I'm super excited to get into it. I also have a coupon code with Archer and Olive, which I will put on the screen right now. If you guys are interested in getting your own Archer and Olive bullet journal, I highly recommend it. They are super high quality and really cute designs for their journals. And before we get into it, let me not forget to add that this is a A5, so basically the typical sized journal. It is a dotted journal, very commonly used for bullet journaling, and this is the 90-page version, so the bigger one. They have 60, I believe, and 90-page sizes. Alright, now moving on to the actual setup itself, I will be using those 3 tombos that I showed as the only markers in this setup. I wanted to kind of pay homage to my original 2021 setup, but I didn't want to do, the exact same thing, so I decided to just use the same 3 colors, which are these 3 tombos from, I believe, the retro color pack of their brush pens. So I wanted to go with just kind of some inspiration from other spreads that I've done in the past, which is where I got this font. If you guys have seen my March setup, that was probably my favorite setup from that journal. I used this typewriter font throughout the entire setup, and I just really loved how it looked. I thought it was simple, but like such a cool way to add something interesting with your font choice. And then with the 3 colors, I decided it'd be fun to do kind of that style where people draw like rainbows but without actual rainbow colors, which is what you see that I did here. And then I just filled up the remaining space with dots just of those same 3 colors. So we're sticking, pretty simple with the color theme, and the font is really just those 3 colors and some microns, but that is the first page done. So moving on to our next 2-page spread, it is my year at a glance / future log spread, and this obviously only has to be the last 6 months of the year because the first 6 months were in my other journal. I basically set this up the exact same way that I did last time. I did, 3 months per page, and you'll see after I draw out the actual, headers of the month using my same font, I will go below and add, tediously every number for every day of the month. And then up in the top right of the page, I added kind of like a post-it, I would call it, with my key, which I did reduce from my key in my original journal. This one I just did 3 different colors, the same colors I used for the setup, as you guys will see in a little bit when I add in the colors, but I just did a color for appointments, birthdays, and events. Before, I kind of had the events category split up, but I mean in the columns next to the months, I will write what the event is anyway, so I thought I didn't need as many colors in my key as I originally had. Alright, and now that I have finished adding in all of the numbers, I know some people use stamps for this, which I definitely think would be a lot easier because it does take kind of a long time and your hand gets tired, but I mean, it's not super hard. You just need a tiny fine liner. I used an 01. For the rest of the setup, I used an 03, but with all of my fine linering done, I just went in, added the colors to my key, and some more of my little rainbows at the bottom. And that is my year at a glance / future log spread finished. Alright, so on the left side, I'm going to be starting off with my grid spacing cheat sheet. I don't remember if the first time I implemented this was my second half of 2020 journal or in my 2021 journal, but I do know that I originally saw the idea from Amanda Rach Lee. It is honestly such a time-saving spread. So if you're not familiar, basically what you do is you go through and you label your page. I did, as you'll see right now, going down, you put a number for every dot spacing, so you know how many dots down and how many dots across your bullet journal is, and then you can go through and divide it in ways you typically do, so like half, third, fourth, even at one point I go to sixth, and it doesn't have to be completely even, like it doesn't have to be 100% divisible to a clean number, but if there's a way you know that you typically like to divide up your spreads, this is really time saving because then you can just flip back to this page and see, okay, I'm splitting it in fourths, that is like 7 dots, instead of counting it out every single time like I know I used to. Also, super recommend putting this on the left side of your bullet journal so then it's easy to flip back to when you are actually working on spreads. So once I finished drawing in all the colors and their divisions, I just went back in and labeled them so it'll be easier instead of having to count it every time to see where it lined up. But I just went back in and labeled, half, 19, a third, and so on for every one of the divisions that I put in. Next up is my kind of like master YouTube growth tracker, because I do a smaller one in every calendar for each monthly setup, but it's nice to have like a big one where you can look at all the data all at once. However, I did change this one up a little bit from my original one from 2020. So what I did the first time was I had just put one slot per month, so I would just write on the first of the month, but that kind of only gave me so much. So this time for the second half of the year, I decided to do one row for the first of the month and one row for the last of the month. So I'm able to kind of see a little bit better, I don't know, what happens monthly, because I didn't like just having one thing per month, if that makes sense. So I split it up into 4 columns: subscribers, views, watch time, and monetization, so how much I make monthly. And yeah, pretty simple from there. It's just a chart. And to kind of, spice it up a little bit, make it a little more colorful, I went in between each row because I left a gap in between each date and filled it in with my colors to kind of show some division and also, make the spread a little more exciting. And that is those 2 spreads finished. Okay, so moving on to our next spread. This spread I am hopeful about this time. I did this originally in the first half of my bullet journal. It is a Polaroid picture spread where you're supposed to take 1 Polaroid every single month. For me, this was kind of to encourage me to use my camera more because I got my Polaroid camera, I believe, in 2015 or 2016. It was actually really exciting. My first ever job. It was I saved up for it. I was so excited to get it, and I did want to use it more because, I kind of dropped off as time went on. However, when I did this spread initially, I took, my picture in January. It came time for February. I went to take my picture, and my Polaroid camera stopped working. The batteries in it kind of exploded, so it broke the camera. I tried to clean it. I tried to replace them. Whatever. It didn't work anymore. And then, so you may be asking, why are you doing this spread again if you don't have a camera? Well, for my graduation / passing the NCLEX, my lovely boyfriend bought me a new Instax mini camera, which I'm really excited about. So I will definitely try and take those 6 pictures for the rest of the year. Because I was pretty disappointed, that I wasn't able to do that for the first half. So it's kind of a sad, empty spread, which you will see whenever I get around to doing my 2021 flip through. Let me know if you guys want me to do my first half flip through now, or if you want to wait until 2021 is over in December and I'll just do a flip through where I do both journals at the same time. And after adding in, my little rainbow doodles, that is the spread finished. Moving on to my next spread, I'm doing a show tracker. I've never done one of these before. I was inspired by someone I saw on TikTok. I don't remember the username, but it was just somebody who was showing, their daily bullet journal fill out. And they had a Grey's Anatomy tracker. And I showed the video to my boyfriend and I was like, we should definitely do this because we've been watching Dexter for probably almost our entire relationship, so almost 2 years. I think maybe a year and a half we've actually been watching it, and we have been terrible about watching it. It has taken us a year and a half to get to season 6. Also, pandemic, we stopped seeing each other as much, so whatever. But I thought it'd be fun and motivating for us to have a tracker. Also, we always forget what episode we're on, so we'll watch it at his house, on my house, so we're watching on different accounts. Moral of the story, I thought it would be fun to make a show tracker. So far, the only thing I put on here is Dexter, because I left room for whatever show we have next. How this tracker works is I made one column for each season. There are 8 seasons, 12 episodes, so all the columns are the same length, and each box will be one episode. I zoomed you guys in so you could get a better view, so I just labeled the columns per season, and then you'll see after I add space for the reboot, I just wrote the title because there is a Dexter reboot coming out, I believe, in like October, which we are very excited about. And I don't know how many episodes it's going to be, so I didn't draw in a column or anything, but I will, you know, when the time comes.
Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down. Hey, that's a pretty good idea. I'll give you the move, right?
Then I went back in with my same 3 colors, and I alternated colors per season and filled in up to where we are, which I believe at the point of filming this, we were on season 6, episode 3. Alright, and now it is time for my final flip through. I hope you guys enjoyed my setup of my new journal. Let me know what you want to see, you know, bullet journal videos moving forward. If you want to see my flip through of my old journal now or at the end of the year, comment down below, let me know. Subscribe if you are not already, and I will see you guys in the next video.
I'm sorry, but I can't